Pakistan is struggling with a severe economic crisis. Its foreign exchange reserves are almost empty. Inflation in the country is very high. Pakistan's currency is under pressure. Meanwhile, for its financial survival, Pakistan approached the IMF. The International Monetary Fund has approved a loan for Pakistan. The IMF is considered the lender of last resort. But the IMF never gives money for free. IMF funds come with strict conditions. There are many conditions that countries must meet. Every single dollar that Pakistan receives will come with tough conditions. In this video, we'll understand what Pakistan will have to do to receive IMF loans. We'll also understand which IMF conditions Pakistan will have to accept. The first condition is transparency. The demand for transparency sounds very simple, but implementing it is very difficult, especially for a country like Pakistan. But if Pakistan wants loans from the IMF, it will have to reduce corruption and increase transparency. The assets of powerful people in Pakistan will have to be made public. The IMF wants Pakistan to publish the assets of its high-level public servants. By the end of December 2025, Pakistan will have to upload the wealth details of its senior public officials on a government website that the public can access. This will make it difficult to hide corruption. This is the IMF's first condition, and it will not be comfortable for Pakistan's elite to accept it. After this comes the issue of governance. The IMF wants Pakistan to improve its governance, starting with tax reforms. By the end of December 2025, Pakistan will have to prepare a clear tax reform strategy. It will have to increase its tax to GDP ratio. This is because Pakistan collects very little tax compared to the size of its economy. The IMF wants Pakistan to broaden its tax net. Under-taxed sectors like agriculture, retail and real estate will have to be brought into the tax net so that government revenue increases. The Pakistani government will have to cut unnecessary subsidies. Tax evasion will have to be reduced. All leakages will have to be plugged. According to the IMF, these reforms are unavoidable. But for Pakistan, they will prove to be politically very painful. If taxes are increased, public backlash is inevitable. After this comes another sensitive issue: the entry of the private sector into public utilities. The IMF believes that Pakistan's public utilities such as electricity, water, gas and transport are very poorly managed. They are loss-making. They are being run in a highly inefficient manner. So the suggested solution to make them efficient is private sector involvement. This means private sector participation in public utilities, so that private companies can bring efficiency, investment and better management to public utilities. By the end of December 2025, Pakistan will have to prepare a strategy for private sector participation in its public utilities. On one hand, privatization will improve efficiency and management. On the other hand, it will mean fewer subsidies. Consumers will have to pay higher prices. This will inevitably become a reason for public anger. Then the IMF also wants the Pakistani government to spend responsibly. There will be no room for any kind of reckless budgets. Fiscal slippages will not be tolerated. Deficits will have to be controlled. By the end of March 2026, Pakistan will have to prepare a detailed fiscal roadmap. In this roadmap, Pakistan will have to explain how it will address overspending. It will have to explain how it will reduce the fiscal deficit. It will also have to ensure that money goes only where it is actually needed. The IMF is also insisting that Pakistan carry out targeted spending on social safety nets. Targeted spending should ensure that the poor benefit, but there is no wasteful spending. In simple words, the IMF is telling Pakistan to cut spending and spend more smartly. If Pakistan wants loans from the IMF, it will also have to fix its cross-border payments. It will have to remove barriers on cross-border payments. By reducing fees and removing hurdles, Pakistan will have to ensure that inflows into the country come as much as possible through formal channels. By the end of May 2026, Pakistan will have to implement reforms that encourage people to use formal banking channels as much as possible. People should not rely on informal routes. Pakistan will have to crack down on Hawala networks linked to money laundering. It will have to improve its global financial credibility. Through all these reforms, Pakistan will have to stabilize its foreign exchange reserves. After this, Pakistan will have to fix sectors where distortions exist. For example, the sugar sector. These sectors suffer from problems such as cartels and price manipulation. Pakistan will have to address these issues. The IMF wants Pakistan to take the route of liberalization to deal with these problems. By June 2026, Pakistan will have to adopt a national policy for sugar sector liberalization. The goal should be to reduce consumer prices. Efficiency should improve. Artificial control should be removed. Apart from this, there are many other reforms that Pakistan will have to implement if it wants IMF loans. These mainly include enforcement of anti-corruption measures. They also include judicial reforms. Energy pricing will have to be reviewed. All these IMF conditions are non-negotiable. There is no flexibility in them. Pakistan will have to meet them. If Pakistan fails to comply, the IMF can suspend the entire program. Pakistan knows this because it has happened before. Pakistan's track record with IMF programs is not very good. In the past as well, Pakistan has faced economic crisis. It has approached the IMF repeatedly. It has agreed to IMF conditions to receive loans, but it has not been able to implement them properly. There has been political pressure. There has been resistance from Pakistan's elite. There has been short-term thinking by Pakistan. There has been massive corruption. All these factors have derailed IMF deals in the past. If the IMF feels that there is any kind of lapse in implementation, it can suspend its support. If Pakistan fails to control its terror exports and engages in any mischief that pulls it into conflicts with neighboring countries, Pakistan's reforms will also be disrupted. In that case, fiscal pressure on Pakistan will increase once again. Pakistan will have to avoid getting involved in any conflict at all costs so that it can focus on economic discipline. Pakistan must not forget that IMF loans come with conditions. By getting involved in any kind of adventure, Pakistan should avoid creating a situation in which it is unable to meet those conditions. Because if Pakistan manages to meet these conditions, it will receive significant rewards. By mid-2026, Pakistan could receive an additional $1 to $2 billion. This is huge. It will help stabilize Pakistan's depleted foreign exchange reserves. It will help curb inflation in the country. It will help restore investor confidence in Pakistan. Foreign direct investments will start coming into various sectors of Pakistan, such as energy and agriculture. So if Pakistan succeeds in meeting IMF conditions, it will make Pakistan's economy more resilient. However, we all know that implementing these reforms will be very difficult. If the Pakistani government takes any austerity measures, protests will definitely be seen against them. If prices of goods rise in the country, public anger will erupt. There will also be resistance from the political elite and senior officials. And Pakistan's military, which effectively controls the entire country and owns many businesses, will also push back. There will be resistance from military-linked businesses as well. When austerity measures put pressure on powerful groups, they will resist. Hence, there is a real risk that reforms may fail. So the road ahead for Pakistan is going to be quite painful. Either Pakistan will have to accept deep structural changes and fix its economy, or it will remain trapped in the same cycle of crisis and bailouts. Everything depends on Pakistan's political will. It also depends on whether the Pakistani military allows politicians to carry out all these reforms.